The truth is, no amount of planning, Googling, or guidebooks can truly prepare you for the Everest Base Camp trek. Some lessons you only learn by walking the path yourself. In this video, I will share the 15 most critical tips and common mistakes that many trekkers overlook. Some that I learnt the hard way, that can cost you time, money, and even health. I'm Brendan, by the way. I work as a designer and videographer here at Follow Alice, and I completed the Everest Base Camp trek during late October. Here is what I wish I knew beforehand, and how you can elevate your adventure to the next level. Now, first things first, before you even depart from Nepal, there are some really key things to consider and understand long before you reach the mountains. Number 1, and this is very important, make sure you obtain travel insurance that specifically covers trekking up to 6,000 meters. Most basic insurance policies do not offer this. Unfortunately, some people overlook the small print, rendering their insurance void. Without the right coverage, you could be refused emergency medical assistance or evacuation from the mountain until you make direct payment. Here at Follow Alice, we require proof of adequate travel insurance before your trek begins to ensure that this situation never happens. We're also very happy to guide you in finding the best policy that works for you. 2. Do not book your international flights too close to the start or end date of your EBC trek. Plan buffer days either side. We recommend 1 full day before and 2 days after. This is in case your domestic flights in Nepal face delay or cancellation. Weather conditions in the Himalayas are notoriously unpredictable, so flight delays of a few hours are not uncommon, even in the best seasons. In a worst case scenario, a flight cancellation could postpone your flight to the following day. So for peace of mind, keep things flexible. 3. Break in new hiking boots before your trek. I made the mistake of wearing fresh boots on the mountain and paid the price. I developed some pretty gnarly blisters within about 60 minutes of hitting the trail. The key is to break them in gradually over weeks. Start with daily use at home or running errands, then build up to long walks, stairs and hikes. And don't just stick to pavement, walk on gravel, dirt and uneven terrain so your boots flex and grip like they will in the Himalayas. An extra tip, anti-blister balm and liner socks can really help prevent friction hot spots and blisters from forming. Your feet will thank you later. 4. A helicopter return. For anybody short on time or who wants to end their trip with a bang, did you know that you can join a trek that ends just after Everest Base Camp, returning to Lukla by helicopter? For the adventure junkies out there, or those of you that might have limited vacation time or family responsibilities, it can be a wonderful, more accessible way to enjoy Nepal. Sailing over the Himalayas by helicopter is probably the most extraordinary experience of my life, and it brought a new thrilling perspective to the experience. If you're curious, feel free to check out our different itineraries at followalice.com for more information. Let's move on to one of the single most important aspects of any high altitude trek, and that's clothing and supplies. The right kit can make or break your hike, so it's imperative you get it right. Number 5, layer your clothing. One of the things that surprised me most about the Everest Base Camp trek were the large swings in temperature. Even on a fresh, cold morning at higher elevation, the moment you step into direct sunshine, things can quickly get pretty warm. To manage this, keep things flexible by wearing layers that can be easily removed or adjusted on the go as conditions change. Zips and lightweight portable items are great to have. Just as important, make sure you're wearing the right materials. Choose fabrics that help regulate your temperature and wick away sweat. Cotton is out, while merino wool and synthetics are in. 6. Consider buying or renting hiking gear in Kathmandu to cut costs. The Tamil district in Kathmandu is chock-a-block with hiking and mountaineering shops with some great bargains to be found. For anyone on a tight budget, or those who do not currently own any hiking gear, you could save a pretty penny. However, this does come with an important caveat. Because most hiking shops in Kathmandu often stock lower quality or counterfeit items, we do not recommend buying things that your safety depends on. So anything built for warmth, structural safety, or weather protection. Instead, think non-critical items like light hiking tops and trousers, shorts, day backpacks, water bottles, or headlamps. If you choose to travel with us here at Follow Alice, do note that we provide our clients with 4-season sleeping bags free of charge, and we rent professional grade down jackets and duffel bags, saving you having to buy your own and freeing up crucial space in your suitcase. 7. Absolutely make sure you pack sufficient medical supplies. Out of everything, this is really not one of those things that you want to overlook or skimp on. My advice is to prepare for the unexpected, even if you're not somebody that gets sick often, because beyond day 2 or 3 past Namche Bazaar, finding medicine becomes very, very difficult. Unfortunately, I overlooked this, and midway through the trek I was struck down by a pretty nasty cough and cold. If it weren't for others in my group sharing their own limited supplies, life would have been a lot more cruddy on the mountain. Number 8. Keep your day pack light. Trekking at high altitude with a heavy weight on your shoulders is extremely uncomfortable and wears you out physically. I strongly recommend that you keep things minimal and pack your day rucksack with only what you really need. Like that, you feel infinitely lighter, less sweaty, and you can focus fully on the beautiful scenery all around you. Number 9. Be careful packing electronics or fragile items in your duffel bag while on the mountain. The porters use very tight straps to compress and bundle several bags together to make it easier for them to carry. Unfortunately, I learned the hard way and found that my laptop had been crushed and dented one day. So I advise you to either keep fragile items in your day rucksack with you or use very good padding and casing. Reaching number 10, I want to quickly discuss facilities and services on the Everest Base Camp trek. Plan for basic facilities on the mountain. As you would expect in the remote Himalayas, facilities along the trail are usually pretty basic, so it's good to know what to expect and how you can plan for them. In no particular order, warm showers practically end beyond 4,000 meters, and toilet paper is uncommon along the entire trek. So keep wet wipes and a personal stash of toilet roll handy. Wi-Fi is patchy, to put it mildly, and can be used for basic messaging and slow browsing at best. So download any music, maps, or movies before arriving in the region, or enjoy a digital detox. Electric plug sockets are rarely found in the bedrooms, so a power bank can be quite a nice thing to have. Be aware that card payments are not accepted along the trek, so make sure you're carrying enough cash with you. Tea houses, small shops, bakeries, charging points, hot showers, Wi-Fi, all of it is paid in Nepalese rupees. And finally, as I mentioned before, there are very few reliable ways to get medicine once you go beyond Namche Bazaar on day 3 or 4. So make sure you're properly stocked up before the adventure. Number 11. Do not eat meat, especially at higher altitudes. Almost everything you eat and drink along the EBC trek was transported by yak or porter from Lukla, meaning most fresh food has not been properly refrigerated. Catching a stomach bug at high altitude would be absolutely cruddy and could potentially end your trek early, so best not to risk it. Next, health and safety, the part of trekking no one likes to think about until you need it. Number 12. Beware of the infamous Khumbu cough. Yep, there's even a nickname for it. You see, the air in the high Himalayas is cold and extremely dry and can quickly leave your throat and lungs very inflamed and scratchy if you're not careful. It's recommended to cover your nose and mouth with a lightweight balaclava or buff at higher elevation, in the cold, and during heavy breathing. And it's also a good idea to sip warm liquids frequently to keep your throat and airways moist. 13. Sunburn is a very serious matter. Don't be fooled by the cool alpine conditions, ice and snow. The sun in the Himalayas is deceptively very powerful. UV exposure increases roughly 10 to 12% for every 1,000 meters you ascend, and snow reflection just compounds it. So by the time you reach base camp, your skin is catching some very strong UV, much more than most people realize. It goes without saying, but a good daily SPF sun cream is absolutely essential, regardless of your skin type. An SPF lip balm and polarized sunglasses are critical. Temporary snow blindness is a serious thing at high altitude. 14. Leave your ego at home. You've probably heard this a dozen times or more, but it cannot be understated. Take things slow and respect the mountain. The Everest Base Camp trek should never be treated like a race or a fitness challenge. And here is why. The biggest risk on the mountain is altitude sickness, and how your body responds to lower oxygen levels is individual and partly genetic. Most people experience mild symptoms of altitude sickness at some point, like headaches, a bit of fatigue, or difficulty sleeping. These usually pass quickly, but a small percentage will develop more serious forms that require immediate descent. Anyone can succumb to acute altitude sickness, regardless of age, hiking experience, or fitness level. So go steady, trek smart. The key is to climb slowly, and most importantly, listen to your guides. They really know what they're doing, and they have a strategy. This ties in with my final, but perhaps most meaningful piece of advice. The EBC trek is all about the journey. If I could do it all again, I would take more moments to stop and soak up the surroundings, to look up and be present. It's very easy sometimes to lose yourself in the physical and mental challenge and the tunnel vision of reaching an objective. But don't skip opportunities for a rest or a sit down, or time just to observe in silence. Don't rush lunch or your coffee break, and put your camera down once in a while. You might only visit this place once in your lifetime, so breathe it in. Want to take your own journey to Everest Base Camp? We would love to have you travel with us here at Follow Alice. Each and every trip at Follow Alice is crafted with love, care, and local expertise, and we really believe that the experiences of our clients speak for themselves. Feel free to explore our website. We've got a fantastic range of Himalayan trips and itineraries on offer, and our team are always on hand to discuss your plans, answer questions, and to help you craft a trip that's just right for you. This is Brendan reporting from Follow Alice, and safe travels everyone.